Bro, I gotta get on stream to, bro. This shit is insane. Like, you see that title? It's Bondi fucking testifies against Congress. I mean, for Congress, on the Epstein files. But they main focus. They not. She giving a great runaround around like the Epstein files. Every time they ask her, they be like no contest or be like objection. It'd be some bullshit. But whenever it's immigration, they talking about immigration, MS-13, immigrants killing unlawful immigrants killing people, how they come here unlawfully, how the immigrants are criminals and shit like that. But we got sex traffickers damn near ruling our nation, and I just watch this shit, bro. This shit is
American
crazy.
people uphold the rule of law and keep this nation safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Attorney General. The chair now. We now proceed on 5 minutes.
Him and her, they on bullshit together because it may not seem like it, but you know when somebody like each other, or not necessarily like each other, but like you know, have like a platonic relationship with a coworker or some shit, and they really got each other back because he letting her slide with this shit, and I'm pretty sure I don't know what it is. He just he the chairman committee. I don't fucking know about this shit for real, but I do know like this is some grade A bullshit.
Minute rule. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam General, thank you for your extensive remarks.
Because if they not talking about Minnesota, like the government give you heavily fucking distractions to be like, okay, we can talk about Minnesota, Epstein file, ICE. I feel like they doing this shit just to like not predicate on one subject, nigga. They doing bro. What is it? What the fuck does CIA do? Fucking, I forgot. It's a saying that they do though. Like it's some around like distraction. But man, bro, this shit's crazy.
Remarks, particularly on your continued investigation of those responsible over the years in the Epstein debacle. Obviously, you have an amazingly full docket between civil rights, between criminal, between so-called white-collar crime, and doing so, as the chairman said, at a time in which both you and the president are under attack and our ICE agents and FBI and others are under attack when they try to enforce the law. I personally want to apologize for those who would embolden, support, or even stand with those lawbreakers that sit on this and other daises here in Congress. My job generally is to talk about patents and trademarks as the chairman of that subcommittee. I'll forego that today because one of my other jobs is the creation and maintenance of Article III judges, and I work with the Chief Justice on that, and we're trying to expand the court. But currently, there are only 677 district court judges. They have very full dockets as well. But you create a tremendous amount of judges, particularly immigration judges. You do so in order to save the court that, but adjudicate, as is requirement, each of those people who claim the right to be here in the United States. And that has been going on under Republican and Democratic administrations for years. What's unique about the Trump administration this time is that you and President Trump have managed to reduce the backlog of people seeking that for the first time in decades. You are getting ahead of that tremendous backlog that caused, for better or worse, the release of millions of people with little pieces of paper saying, come back later when we call you, and often to no avail when you call. So I want to congratulate you on that because it's an accomplishment you might not take credit for and the other side would never give you credit for. But I hope you can continue to do that and do more. And I say so for a reason, because much of this hearing will be about Minneapolis and other places in which the backlog of criminal aliens, including in my home state of California, people who have hurt other people, people who have victimized their communities, is extensive. And although the overall number through adjudication may be going on, because of places like my home state, California, you're unable to apprehend people that my sheriffs want apprehended. They desperately want to cooperate, and they're prohibited by law. It is this committee's opinion on this side of the aisle that, in fact, you should be given the ability.
Ahmed bin Sulayem, the chairman and CEO of a company that had financial ties to President Trump's business and personal ties to Trump's advisor, Steve Bannon. Second,
Watch this, motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. The people of color that's in this congressional office seem like they push it for Epstein signs way more. And then I'm not gonna lie, these people still racist because it was a Chinese dude. He was talking about the Epstein files, and then right after he got done talking to Epstein files, somehow that shit got on Chinese vapes and how they was importing the country, and somebody died. And they said they got the potential to like leave like mass destruction amongst teens because of the vapes and shit. But my thing is, bro, these people, bro, these are like regular people, but the shit's crazy.
survivors were not similarly protected, also in violation of the law. Here is another email titled Epstein Victim List. We have blurred the names of the survivors for their protection, but your Department of Justice initially released this list of 32 survivors' names with only one name redacted, along with numerous files that disclose not only the names, the emails, and the addresses of survivors, but also nude photographs and even the identities of Jane Does who had been protected for decades until your department released their names. Survivors are now telling us that their families are finding out for the first time that they were trafficked by Epstein. In their words, quote, "This release does not provide closure. It feels like a deliberate attempt to intimidate survivors, punish those who came forward, and reinforce the same culture of secrecy that allowed Epstein's crimes to continue for decades." To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice.
Damn.
Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi,
Watch how she respond. She don't
you
give no
apologize
fuck.
to the
I'm telling
survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Watch this shit, bro.
Congresswoman, you sat before, Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General
Twice.
Bondi,
No, can
I'm
I
gonna
finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a
Attorney General, yes, sir.
specific question
Attorney General
that
can
I would
respond to your
like you
question.
to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she
It
doesn't
is
like the
my
answer.
time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't
a
she ask
question.
Merrick Garland this
I am
twice?
reclaiming
He
my
sat in my
time, and when
chair.
I
Why does she gotta ask this man? She asking you right now. What the fuck are you doing?
I will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it is
Mr. Chairman, the
my-
gentlelady's
I'm
reclaimed
I'm
her
not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. you're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you
Chairman.
restore her time? The witness is
I'm not gonna get
interrupted.
in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing
and
theatrics.
let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final
Thank you.
17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only
Regular
to
order.
then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Ghislaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level
Chairman,
apologize
The chair now
to them
recognizes the chair.
and what you have done.
Time of the gentlelady
yield
expired.
back.
The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back.
Theatrics.
We appreciate the thought. And I would argue the central issue in the last election, the presidential election, was securing the border. The gentleman from Arizona who knows something about securing the border is up for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for being here today. In 2022, Lafarge, which is a French cement company, pled guilty in U.S. federal court to participating in a criminal conspiracy with ISIS. That conspiracy contributed to the deaths of U.S. service members fighting in Syria during Operation Inherent Resolve. As part of the plea agreement, Lafarge was required to pay more than $775 million to DOJ's asset forfeiture fund. In February 2025, my colleagues and I sent you a letter urging the department to review the petitions for remission submitted by the families of those fallen service members, including several of my constituents. The previous administration ignored these victims and our requests and left their petitions unresolved. My question for you on this particular issue is if you're willing to work to ensure those families that their petitions will be reviewed and brought to a resolution.
Congressman, we are aware of that, and we're committed to doing everything we can to support the victims and work with you. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, appreciate your answer. And now let's go to something that is also pressing that I've been working on for years, and this is the FISA Section 702 and Arctic frost. In January 2025, you testified before the U.S. Senate and agreed with Senator Lee that, quote, anytime an American citizen's private communications are intercepted or stored, whether through incidental collection or otherwise, those communications should not be searched without some showing of probable cause, close quote. You still hold that view today, I assume?
Yes.
And during the most recent FISA
This is the whole thing, bro. Like, if somebody with money don't give a fuck about this Epstein shit, bro, it's gonna be all. It's just, man, this shit
authorization, I offered an amendment to establish a clear warrant requirement for searches of Americans' data while preserving every publicly cited operational exception, including emergencies, defensive queries, cybersecurity threats. And my intent was to ensure the Department of Justice could continue to keep Americans safe while also ending warrantless searches of U.S. persons' data. Are there any additional circumstances or exceptions that you believe must be included to ensure DOJ can continue to operate effectively while still protecting American citizens' data and privacy?
Yeah, Congressman, we are committed to working with Congress to uncover weaponization and other misconduct by Jack Smith, by others, Arctic frost, everything that happened under the past administration. And we are committed to working with you on that. And we are working with Chairman Jordan, with the House Intel, with all of our, my fellow cabinet members on resolving that issue.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad you brought up Arctic frost, because Section 702 was used in the Arctic frost investigation.
It was.
And information derived was used by Special Counsel Jack Smith. And my question has always been, and no one's been able to answer this, is what was the legal predicate for using a foreign intelligence authority in the Arctic frost investigation? Have you been able to ascertain any legal predicate?
Congressman, what I can tell you today is that has been referred to my office. I can't discuss anything regarding that because it is very active and ongoing.
And you probably can't answer this one either, but I really want to know if Section 702 queries related to that matter involved members of Congress, which we know at some level it did, congressional staff, which we know at some level did. We've heard that journalists or other U.S. persons not suspecting of acting as foreign agents were also caught up in that. Can you answer that question and say whether queries did cover all those groups I just identified?
It is a very active pending investigation within my office. However, I believe many members of Congress have stated that their phones were part of Arctic frost. We are well aware of that, and we are taking this very seriously, and this is a very active investigation. And I would keep going.
She ain't never said that shit about the Epstein files though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, why? I know why. Because they all corrupt, but we out there now. On game. It's a big man's game, and the rules don't change for you, little brother. Like, I gotta I'll delete these fucking boxes. I hate when some shit do this. Like, what the fuck? Alright. This structure is so fucking complicated, bro. And it don't need to be honest. It looks like it's gonna do some shit like this, but it's doing some wild consolidation game. These are breakout points right here. Oh, what I'm hoping is either it breaks out of this, and then do what it do, and then I'm gonna go. That's when I'm gonna go in. When it breaks out of this consolidation. And then once it goes up or goes down, but it's pulled back, you know this gonna be either support or support. You know it's gonna try to pull it down just for a little bit of support. That's when I'm gonna go in. But this is US 30. And these are the only two stocks I trade. I tell y'all this day in, day out. Looking at this, it's a 1 hour. Let me see what the 4 hour look like, cause I can't get a good read on this shit. Uh, hmm, it's still not good. The sellers are like not really in control, but I really got the choice for them. You see how these fucking wicks closing out? I would assume that I would I sh- this is how I'm about to start but trying to catch a fucking wick to go all the way down here and get in is gonna be fucking hard. I wonder if people trade this. I gotta look at more trading videos because, bro, I wouldn't be comfortable putting a buy or a sell in this motherfucker. Maybe if I go to like a price action for 15 minutes, let me see some shit. 15 minutes. That's when you can go to like, even then, it's still kind of shaky. I remember I used to trade like this. This shit was horrible. Like, you feel me? Just try to get a little bit right here. Like, this is nothing. Well, I guess it is something. It's two. That's about like, I think, where did I start at? Yeah, 40. Probably about 60 ticks. I don't trade like that no more because it's just I don't feel like it don't work for me like that. So I'm just waiting on the structure to be built, something steady, something predictable. Like this shit right here is not predictable, not to me at least. So that's what I'm waiting on. I ain't gonna go to my account because I'm sitting at 248. I think my next time I show you on my account, I'm gonna be up some shit. Oh, bro. But yeah, that's all I got, bro. Man, what area I'm waiting to get broke out of is this or fuck around this right here. Cause I think in another video I said it's gonna come, it's gonna fucking consolidate around here. Usually I always do. Whenever you're looking at these charts, they tend to consolidate around the same area. So that's when you know if you break it. Like you see how it tried to break it, but it didn't, and now it's on the downside. So it's gonna try to break it down here. If it don't consolidate to either or whoever buy the shit first type shit. But now that I think about it, it would be cool to put a buy because it might try to travel down and see if it can break this resistance. But I ain't gonna do that because that's just in theory. Because it can very much just try to go back up here and try to break through there. Yeah. I can't believe this though, bro. Like
Going and say if any member of the Democrat Party, we do, and they should be jumping up and down, screaming, supporting you and what you want to do, because this should be a bipartisan issue.
Well, I hope it is a bipartisan issue. You know, I'll just leave with these last couple of questions, which I'm sure fall into the same investigation privilege. But that's this: how many such queries were actually conducted overall? This is outside Arctic Frost in the prior year by the FBI or other intelligence community, and particularly, we really need to know what were this legal standards applied? Did they use probable cause? Did they use reasonable articulable suspicion? Or did they have no individualized suspicion and just were gathering up information? And that's beyond the investigation regarding Arctic Frost. I don't expect you to have that information today, but if you can help get that information so we can understand the extensive nature of this continued misuse of 702, it would be very particularly helpful.
And it was extensive. Yes, Congressman. Thank you.
Time of the gentleman.
Welcome to the Daily Show. I'm George Klepper. Got so much to talk about tonight. King Charles deals with a royal pain in his ass. Howard Lutnick took his family to the world's worst all-inclusive resorts.
As I was on a boat going across on a family vacation.
Oh, Howie! You're breaking my heart. What was it all the one and the done and the gross?
And you know the crazy thing about these shows, these motherfuckers are solely funded off of whoever, the right or left. They propaganda their own fucking news sources. Like all this shit is a bullshit, bro. And looking at it just make you just like, ain't nobody really fighting for the American consumer, because we ain't considered people. We are consumers. That's why they fucking doing all this shit, bruh. Well, it seems like we don't got no rights, but shit, I'm sure I know we do. A mess now. Yeah, it's over. I should go.
Policy where they do not honor ICE detainers versus in any other jurisdiction where they do. How does the nature of apprehending that person, how does the nature of ICE's involvement?
That was in the title, the victims, survivors' names, all right? The title.
I just think we start out by making sure those redactions are unredacted, those Epstein.
And you're doing the opposite, you're protecting them. So I want to move on to another man.
Can I answer
Donald
that,
Trump.
though?
I want to move on to another
Can I answer your question about protecting?
You answered the question.
You're saying no. I love this.
I want to discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files, like former Prince, have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness.
in his home state.
Attorney General, thank you for being here, and I wanted to make sure you had time to respond.
This is my neck. Just watch it.
I'm going to change gears a little bit. In October, when you were testifying before the Senate, I know you and my friend Senator Katie Britt discussed concerns of infiltration of the illegal Chinese vapes into our country. As a father of three, obviously, I'm worried a little bit about this, and I believe that many parents in the country share our similar concern.
This man talking about fucking Chinese vapes, bro. Like, this shit's crazy, man. Then she gonna say something, it's horrible and shit like that. It really don't matter. But that's pretty much it, bro. He said, "Uka uka." He said, Chicago thieves. I ain't gonna lie. I think I seen it this morning. I promise you, this video had like 15K this morning, bro. This nigga Tommy G got the machine behind him, but I ain't saying it's bad. I'm just saying, what the same video plan to fix downtown? $7 billion to fix downtown. The fuck. This is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like America just fuck. We just. I ain't gonna say we. I don't want to be part of society, but I'm gonna say as a collective, we put fucking bandages over fucking stab wounds. Like, you can't do that shit and expect, and then blame the cut for still hurting type shit. Like, you ain't even treat the motherfucker. You just put a band-aid over it so you can't see it no more. Bro, it's still the same pain and all this other shit, but that's just what it is, bro. Then her, bro, I ain't gonna lie, she on a generational fucking run right now with the shit that she said. She bold on, bro, like she damn near accusing Erica Kirk of killing Charlie Kirk, and if you listen to the evidence, shit, she got a good point. She said, "Uka uka." He said, "I'm a noodle naka." But I'm waiting on people to. I'm waiting on them to actually. Epstein Coach's name Trump's 100K. I'm waiting on them to pick a real side, because he be bullshitting. But I'm off here. I'm about to read a book or something. Gang. He said, "I be with the shooters."